number of different things you need to bear in mind. Firstly, if in your team you've got something new, something you want to introduce, uncover who in your team is going to be directly affected by this change, and go and speak to them personally first. Particularly if we're talking here retrenchments, particularly if we're talking changes of working environment or changes in salary or offices, or if there are a few individuals that are going to be affected, go and speak to them first. Don't have a big meeting where then they find out they're going to be retrenched. That's horrible. And I know that that happens from time to time, but it's horrible. Once you've spoken to them, then call a brief meeting of your team, or a meeting of your team, to brief them about what's happening. Call a meeting, get everybody together so that everybody knows. You don't want the grapevine to beat you to it here. You don't want to be talking around the coffee machine, or nowadays Smoker's Corner, which tends to be the chat area now. So you don't want to be talking in that environment. You want it in a big meeting if you can, so that everybody knows what's going on. Do a will-skill balance. The will-skill balance is a simple process of plotting people on a graph to decide which of them is ready for change, which of them needs some more help, which of them needs convincing, and which of them needs firing, frankly. Now, that sounds a bit tough, and maybe you don't want to go that far, but it's important to understand that everybody is at a different level of readiness for that change. So what we're going to do here is just plot people on a graph and give them a value as to their relative willingness to be involved in the change and skill to do whatever's necessary in that changing environment. The first guy I've got up there is Johan van der Bijl. Now, Johan is the financial director. He's been around for a long, long time in the company. He's 52 years old, and he is highly skilled, highly trained, an excellent man at his job. However, he doesn't want to change. In this organisation, they've just put in a new chief executive officer that they employ from outside, and he thought he might get the job. So he's very anti this process. He is quite low on will, high on skill. In this case, we've also got Janet Ndungi. Now, Janet is the sales manager. She's been with the company not very long, and but she's highly positive about this process. High on will, low on skill. Other people in the company? We've got Joan Keys. Now, Joan Keys is the high flyer in the organisation. She's the operations director, high flyer, more degrees than we've got in Durban on a hot day. But she's also has process changes over the last few years. She doesn't want to change anything more, thank you very much. She thinks everything's exactly as it should be, so she doesn't want to see any new changes. High skill, low will. Then we've got Chris Powell. Chris is our marketing director. Very positive young man, youngest director in the team, 38 years old, very positive, high skill, but also high will. He wants to drive it on. He wants these changes to happen. Sam Conradi, also high skill, high will. She's human resources, very positive, wants change to happen. And then Ricky Naidu, transport manager. He's come through the ranks as transport manager now. He's been with the company 20 years. Great guy, but he really was being over-promoted to transport manager, so he's probably not high skill, and he really doesn't want to make any changes either, so he's low skill and low will. Now, I just put 4 blocks in there, just to give you an idea. You would probably want to place your own people on a graph similar to this. And now we're going to give them each a category name, A, B, C, and D, and each category we're going to treat differently. Category A, these are people who are high skill, high will. These are the guys who are going to help you run through the change. These are the people you will probably want to delegate to, because these are your positive supporters. You want them behind you. So high skill, high will, get them involved. They will probably chair some of the meetings that you have, because they are positively on your side. Category B people, these are people who are high will but low skill. Now, plainly, you want to keep them involved in this process. They will probably be part of your helping process, but they're low skill, so they're probably not highly respected in your organisation. These people we want to train. We will train these to skill them up. We definitely want to keep them. The most challenging area here, and this is the one you should spend most of your time with, is category C. These people are high skill, but low will. Now, plainly, if they're high skilled, you want to keep them in your organisation. They definitely should be there. They're helping you make money. But they are low will, so they are highly dangerous. These are the people who are going to be mumbling in the coffee breaks. These are the people, if you're not careful, will have great deal of support within the organisation. They may well bring you down if you cannot convince them. And that's got to be your target. You've got to convince these people. These high-skilled, low-will people have got to be convinced. And we're going to look at different ways in which you might choose to convince them, but they have to be your major focus. Category D people, these are low-skilled, low-will. Well, it depends. I don't know, suggested over here, and that's probably quite right. It depends how much time you've got. It really does depend upon the time you've got, because these people will need to be retrained and convinced if you're going to carry them through. And the old principle of FIFO works quite well under those circumstances. You know, FIFO, fit in or find other employment. So it's useful to apply that, I think. There's 4 different processes. Category C people, however, they are the targets. You've got to convince them. They are very important, and that's your biggest challenge.